Hi, this is Francis, and I'm going to show you how to make original homemade authentic tamales. First of all, you're going to get your pork roast, and I've made 3 pork roasts. I put them last night to boil, and I used stick them in some big pots like this, fill them to the top, and just drop your pork roast in there. All you need to add is fresh garlic. I've added 2 of these heads into my pork roast. I had 2 pork roasts in one pot and one big one in another pot because they come in different sizes. And so I just break apart the garlic and drop them in the pork roast. Now, this morning I let them cook all night long on low. And this morning, about 5 o'clock, I turned off the meat and I let it stay in the pot on the stove and I let it cool. And then I came back about 8 o'clock, and once it cooled down, I just washed my hands, disinfected them, stuck my hands in them, start pulling out the meat. The bones come right out. The bone will come right out. Here's the bone. The fat will slide right off. Just drop it all into a container, and then in a separate container, I put all my pork roast in here, and you just shred it with your hands. That's all you do. It comes right apart. You cook it all night long, so it's nice and tender. It falls right apart. So I've filled 2 of these containers up. When you're done with your meat, for now, you want to put it in the refrigerator because you don't want it to go bad. It's pork. And the juice, I've poured some of the juice from the meat in a couple separate containers because you wanted to use some of the juice later, and I've stored that in the refrigerator. I've had excuse my kitchen, I've had my corn husk soaking in here all night long. My corn husk, filled it with warm water, and I filled the pot up with water, and I put my comal on top to weigh it down, make sure it stays under the water. This morning when I woke up, I emptied the water, took out my corn husk, emptied the dirty water, filled it up with fresh water, put it back in there. You want to leave it in the water so it's nice and soft when you're ready to make your tamales. Now, I have been cleaning my chili. I buy the New Mexico chili pods, and they look like this. And all I've been doing is just tearing off the stem, and just with the water running low, I've just let it kind of rinse off. Just rip the stem off, just kind of let them clean the dirt off, the dust. And I'm going to do all this. I think I'm going to have to use 2 of these pots because this one's pretty full already. So I'm going to fill this up with water. Fill it up with water. This does not take long to cook, the chili. Now some people like to use powdered chili, and I guess that would be easier, but homemade chili makes it much tastier. Gives it a good taste. I'm going to fill that up. Sorry, my dishwasher keeps going. And I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to cover that. So, the first step is to get your pork roast, boil it all night long, put it on low. It's not going to hurt it. The longer it cooks, the more tender it is, and it'll fall apart. Make sure you put fresh garlic, and then I could prepare the chili last night, but I just let my meat cook because there's a lot of different steps. It's a long process, and now that my meat is done, it's in the refrigerator. I've got my hoja soaking since last night. I'm making my chili, and all we have to do next is let it cook, which takes about maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes to let it boil, let the chili get soft. I'm going to blend it. I'm going to strain it. I have my masa right here, which I got at my local grocery store. This one's already prepared. You can go to your, if you have one, your local molina, and usually that's where they make and sell homemade corn tortillas, flour tortillas, chicharrones. Um, that is a little more expensive by the pound. This is at the grocery store, so this I've already made a batch a couple of days ago, so this tastes good. And I'm gonna show you how I prepare my masa, because you don't just use it straight out of the bag. We're gonna add a little bit of the juice from the meat and get it nice and soft. And we're going to, I think I'm gonna add a little more salt because I think it needed a little more salt. So you're just gonna, and I'll show you how we cook the meat with the chili. So I'll be back in just a little bit.